Eggs have been a dietary staple across cultures and generations, praised for their affordability, versatility, and dense nutritional content. But for seniors, the question often arises, are eggs still a safe and beneficial choice as we age, or do they pose hidden risks that outweigh their nutritional benefits, especially when cholesterol, heart health, and digestion become top priorities? This question isn't just about a simple breakfast item. It's tied into decades of shifting medical advice, myths, half-truths, and new science that often leaves older adults confused or overly cautious about eating something they may have enjoyed their entire lives. Because for years, eggs were demonized due to their cholesterol content, with outdated studies suggesting a direct link between dietary cholesterol and cardiovascular disease, which led many seniors to cut back drastically or avoid them altogether, replacing them with processed breakfast items or skipping the morning meal entirely. But emerging research has since clarified that the relationship between dietary cholesterol and blood cholesterol is not as straightforward as once believed. In fact, for most people, saturated fat has a bigger impact on blood cholesterol levels than dietary cholesterol itself. And eggs, while rich in cholesterol, are relatively low in saturated fat when eaten without additions like butter or bacon. This matters deeply for seniors because avoiding nutrient-rich foods like eggs out of fear can deprive them of essential nutrients that become increasingly important in older age, such as high-quality protein for muscle maintenance and repair, choline for brain health and memory support, vitamin D for bone density, B12 for nerve function, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin that promote healthy vision and may protect against age-related macular degeneration and beyond their nutrient profile. Eggs are also easy to chew, digest, and prepare in a variety of ways that suit different health conditions and preferences, whether scrambled softly, poached, boiled, or turned into a light frittata with vegetables, making them a practical food for seniors with limited appetite, chewing issues, or difficulties in the kitchen. However, the safety of eggs for older adults depends not just on what eggs contain, but also how they're sourced, stored, and cooked, because while eggs offer many benefits, they can also pose certain risks if not handled properly, especially for those with weakened immune systems. As is often the case with seniors, one of the primary concerns is salmonella, a type of bacteria that can contaminate raw or undercooked eggs and lead to serious gastrointestinal illness. While most healthy adults can recover from such infections without major complications, older adults are at higher risk of dehydration, hospitalization, and more severe outcomes, which is why understanding how to safely enjoy eggs through proper storage, thorough cooking, and responsible sourcing is crucial. Another common concern for seniors is the impact of eggs on heart health, particularly in those already managing conditions like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or cardiovascular disease. And while moderate egg consumption, typically defined as up to 1 egg per day, has been shown in many studies to be safe for most individuals and even beneficial in some cases, there's still nuance involved because some individuals are what researchers call hyper responders, meaning their blood cholesterol levels may rise more significantly in response to dietary cholesterol. Though even in these individuals, the change tends to be in both LDL and HDL cholesterol, often maintaining the overall ratio and not necessarily increasing cardiovascular risk. Moreover, the way eggs are paired with other foods matters a great deal. For example, eating eggs with whole grains, vegetables, and healthy fats like avocado is vastly different from eating them alongside processed meats, refined carbohydrates, or deep-fried sides. So when evaluating the role of eggs in a senior's diet, context is everything. And it's not just about the egg itself, but about the total dietary pattern and lifestyle, including physical activity, sleep, stress, and existing health conditions. And it's also important to dispel the myth that egg whites are always better than whole eggs for seniors. Because while egg whites are fat-free and contain high-quality protein, they lack the important nutrients found in the yolk, including the majority of an egg's vitamins and antioxidants. And for seniors looking to preserve muscle mass, support brain health, and maintain energy levels, those nutrients are not optional extras. They're essential. The yolk contains almost all of the egg's vitamin A, D, E, and K, along with most of the B vitamins. And if a senior is consistently avoiding the yolk out of fear, they may be missing out on important nutritional benefits that are especially needed during the aging process, particularly for maintaining cognitive function and immune resilience. So the question isn't whether eggs are safe for seniors, but rather how they are integrated into the broader picture of senior nutrition, how they are cooked, how frequently they are consumed, and what they are consumed with, and whether the individual senior has any specific dietary needs, restrictions, or medical conditions that require personalized guidance from a healthcare provider or dietitian. And when considered from this holistic viewpoint, eggs can often reclaim their rightful place at the table as a nourishing, satisfying, and health-supportive food for older adults. And as we continue to unpack the truths surrounding eggs and their place in the diet of older adults, it becomes even more critical to move beyond surface-level assumptions and dive deeper into how eggs interact with the specific biological changes that occur with aging. For instance, one of the more underestimated challenges seniors face is a gradual decline in appetite and changes in taste perception, which can lead to decreased food intake, nutritional deficiencies, and unintended weight loss. And in this context, eggs offer a unique advantage because they provide a compact source of nutrition that delivers substantial amounts of high-quality protein, essential vitamins, and minerals without requiring a large portion size. This makes them ideal for seniors who may not be able to eat large meals or who experience fatigue from preparing more complex dishes. And the digestibility of eggs also plays a major role in their suitability for aging bodies, since as we grow older, the efficiency of our digestive systems can decline, including slower gastric emptying and reduced stomach acid production, which can affect the absorption of nutrients and the overall comfort after eating. But eggs, particularly when cooked gently, are generally well tolerated and less likely to cause digestive distress compared to tougher meats or highly fibrous meals. And for those living with chronic illnesses such as diabetes, heart disease, or kidney conditions, which become increasingly common in later life, the adaptability of eggs allows them to be incorporated in ways that align with most therapeutic diets. For example, those managing blood sugar levels can pair eggs with high-fiber foods to maintain stable glucose levels. And because eggs are naturally low in carbohydrates, they offer a great option for seniors following lower-carb diets aimed at improving metabolic health. Similarly, in those with early-stage kidney disease, protein needs must be carefully balanced, and eggs can be a useful source of protein with a relatively low phosphorus content compared to other animal products. And because the egg yolk contains healthy fats, including omega-3 fatty acids when sourced from pasture-raised or enriched varieties, they may also contribute to reducing inflammation and supporting brain health, which is particularly important as cognitive decline becomes a major concern in older populations. Memory loss, slowed thinking, and reduced mental clarity are all issues that can be supported by consistent intake of nutrients like choline and vitamin B12, both of which are abundant in eggs. And while many supplements exist to fill nutrient gaps, getting these nutrients from whole foods like eggs offers better bioavailability and fewer risks of oversupplementation, not to mention the psychological benefit of enjoying a warm, familiar meal that feels satisfying and comforting, especially for seniors who may feel isolated or emotionally disconnected from food due to grief, lifestyle changes, or loss of routine. Cooking and eating eggs can also be part of a daily ritual that fosters stability and self-care, whether it's a soft-boiled egg in the morning with toast or a gently cooked omelet in the evening. And for caregivers or family members looking after elderly loved ones, incorporating eggs into the diet can be a practical and budget-friendly way to boost nutrition without overwhelming the person with complicated meal planning. But caution still needs to be exercised when it comes to preparation methods. because the health benefits of eggs can quickly be diminished by how they are cooked or what they are combined with. Frying eggs in excessive butter, oil, or serving them alongside processed meats like sausage or bacon can introduce unhealthy fats and sodium, which are especially problematic for seniors managing hypertension or cardiovascular disease. Instead, healthier preparation methods such as boiling, poaching, steaming, or light pan cooking with minimal oil are preferable and still preserve flavor and texture. Seasoning can also be adjusted to suit individual needs, such as using herbs instead of salt for flavor or choosing heart-healthy oils like olive oil in small amounts when needed. And although the debate around dietary cholesterol in eggs has evolved, it's still wise for seniors with known cardiovascular issues to monitor egg intake in the context of their overall cholesterol and lipid profile, working closely with a healthcare provider to determine a balanced and personalized approach that allows for egg consumption without added risk. And perhaps even more important than the egg itself is where the egg comes from, because not all eggs are created equal, and sourcing plays a significant role in both safety and nutrition. Seniors and their families should aim to purchase eggs from reputable sources, preferably those labeled as organic, pasture-raised, or omega-3 enriched, which typically come from hens, fed higher quality diets, and raised in cleaner, less stressful environments. This not only reduces the risk of contamination, but also enhances the nutritional quality of the egg, with better fat profiles and higher antioxidant levels. And proper storage is key. Eggs should always be kept in the refrigerator at a consistent cold temperature and consumed before their expiration date. Any cracked or visibly dirty eggs should be discarded, and it's wise to wash hands and cooking utensils thoroughly when handling raw eggs to minimize cross-contamination, especially in households where seniors may already be more vulnerable to foodborne illnesses. Understanding these small but important steps in egg handling can make all the difference in ensuring that eggs remain a safe and nourishing part of a senior's diet, rather than a hidden health risk. And perhaps the greatest benefit of all is that eggs are an empowering food. They give seniors a chance to feel in control of their health by making a choice that supports their well-being. They are familiar and comforting, yet scientifically impressive in what they deliver nutritionally. And in a world where aging can often feel like a series of limitations or medical restrictions, being able to enjoy something as simple and satisfying as an egg can restore a sense of normalcy, dignity, and pleasure to the daily act of eating. And when we start to consider not just whether eggs are safe for seniors, but how they can be prepared in ways that maximize their benefits while minimizing any risks, we uncover strategies that allow older adults to incorporate this nutrient-dense food into their diets with confidence and variety. And it begins by thinking beyond the typical breakfast plate and instead exploring cooking methods and combinations that support aging bodies, ease digestion, and elevate the health potential of this already impressive food. One of the most recommended ways to prepare eggs safely and healthfully is through boiling, whether soft or hard-boiled, as this method avoids added fats and preserves the integrity of the nutrients within the yolk and the white, while also eliminating any food safety concerns, because boiled eggs, when cooked thoroughly, are fully safe from bacteria like salmonella. And for seniors who may struggle with chewing or swallowing, soft-boiled eggs can offer a gentle yet satisfying texture that delivers protein, vitamins, and flavor without causing discomfort or requiring strenuous chewing. Another advantage of boiled eggs is their portability and convenience. They can be prepared in advance and stored safely in the refrigerator for a few days, making them an easy grab-and-eat option for seniors who may lack the energy or motivation to prepare a full meal. And pairing them with sliced vegetables, whole grain toast, or a small portion of fruit can round out a simple but balanced plate. And the second preparation method that aligns with safety and nutrition is poaching, which uses water rather than oil or butter and keeps the egg soft and moist, ideal for aging teeth and sensitive digestive systems. Poached eggs can be placed over steamed greens, legumes, or even whole grain porridge to boost protein and satisfaction without overloading the stomach. And the gentle cooking also helps preserve the yolk's powerful antioxidants, which are especially beneficial for eye health and reducing oxidative stress in aging cells. And for seniors who may have concerns about dietary fats or cholesterol, poaching is one of the best methods as it avoids any added fat while still providing full access to the egg's micronutrients. Now moving to the third powerful and practical way to include eggs in the diet without increasing health risks is by using them in vegetable-rich frittatas or omelets that incorporate a variety of fiber-rich, antioxidant-laden vegetables such as spinach, bell peppers, mushrooms, zucchini, or tomatoes. This combination not only increases the volume and nutrient density of the meal, but also supports digestion, cardiovascular health, and blood sugar regulation by offering a mix of fiber, vitamins, and phytonutrients that work synergistically with the protein and fat in eggs. And for seniors concerned about sodium or flavor monotony, herbs like basil, parsley, dill, or turmeric can provide depth and health-promoting properties without added salt. And cooking these vegetable-based egg dishes using non-stick pans or minimal amounts of olive oil also supports heart health while retaining flavor. And for those who find it difficult to consume larger meals, smaller frittata slices or egg muffins can be pre-prepared and stored, then easily reheated for meals or snacks that are both enjoyable and nutritionally balanced and beyond preparation methods. Another point that matters deeply is how eggs are psychologically perceived by seniors, because food is not just fuel, it's memory, it's routine, it's a source of comfort and identity. And for many older adults, the simplicity and familiarity of eggs make them emotionally reassuring, helping to foster better compliance with dietary guidelines simply because the food feels known, manageable, and pleasant. And in cases where seniors live alone, are struggling with grief, or coping with changes in mobility and independence, being able to prepare a nutritious egg-based meal without too much effort or mess can restore a sense of autonomy and daily structure that is often lost with aging. And that emotional layer matters just as much as the physical health benefits, because a senior who feels connected to their meals is more likely to eat consistently, avoid malnutrition, and engage more actively in their self-care. And for caregivers or family members supporting elderly loved ones, encouraging the inclusion of eggs in a smart, safe, and health-aware manner becomes not just a nutritional decision, but a way to reconnect through food, offering gentle support, while also empowering seniors to nourish themselves with purpose and pleasure. And if concerns remain about cholesterol or heart disease, it is worth reiterating that current medical research has softened its stance on eggs in moderation, with multiple large-scale studies showing that up to 1 egg per day is not associated with increased cardiovascular disease risk. In healthy adults, and even in those with pre-existing conditions, the overall pattern of the diet, such as levels of saturated fat, fiber, refined sugars, and processed foods, plays a far more significant role in heart health than the inclusion of a few whole eggs each week. So the key lies in moderation, balance, and smart pairing. And for seniors with very specific medical concerns, such as advanced kidney disease, very high cholesterol, or particular digestive disorders, the inclusion of eggs should be guided by a registered dietitian or physician familiar with the individual's full medical history and nutritional needs. But for the majority of seniors, eggs can be an ally, not an enemy. A versatile, affordable, and powerfully nourishing food that supports muscle strength, cognitive clarity, eye health, immune function, and even emotional well-being. And if eaten safely, cooked properly, and included thoughtfully within the wider context of a healthy lifestyle, eggs can help seniors not only meet their dietary needs, but also reclaim a sense of enjoyment and simplicity in their meals. And as we round out the full understanding of how eggs fit into the diet of older adults, it's essential to return to the bigger picture, which is not just about whether eggs are safe, but how they can be part of an intentional, holistic approach to aging well. Because aging is not a single event. It's a continuous process that impacts every system of the body and influences the way we interact with food, with health, and with life itself. And eggs, humble and often overlooked, can quietly support that journey when included wisely, because they don't just deliver nutrients. They deliver functionality, accessibility, and satisfaction at a time when eating should remain joyful, not burdensome. And when we talk about aging with strength, it often comes back to maintaining muscle mass, avoiding frailty, and preventing falls. And this is where the high-quality protein in eggs becomes almost medicinal, especially when paired with resistance exercise, regular movement, and other protein-rich foods throughout the day. Because the goal isn't to simply survive, it's to thrive, and maintaining lean body mass, sharp cognition, and strong bones are all key parts of that vision. And because eggs are one of the richest dietary sources of choline, a nutrient that plays a central role in memory, brain development, and liver function, they serve as an anchor food for cognitive health. And for seniors who are at risk of Alzheimer's or simply want to maintain clarity and alertness, choosing foods that support neurotransmitter function is not optional. It's essential. And while no food is a miracle on its own, eggs contribute to a dietary pattern that protects the brain and gives seniors a real tool to preserve their independence. And it's not just what eggs contain, but what they don't. No added sugar, minimal carbs, and no preservatives, making them far less inflammatory and disruptive to metabolic health than many ultra-processed convenience foods, often targeted toward older adults. And with the growing interest in longevity science, many researchers and health practitioners are circling back to traditional, simple, whole foods that have stood the test of time, and eggs absolutely belong in that category, as they reflect balance, nutrient density, and versatility. And for many seniors living on a fixed income, the affordability of eggs matters too, because the ability to get high levels of bioavailable nutrients in a cost-effective way cannot be overstated, especially in an economic climate where access to fresh produce, high-quality proteins, and supplements may be inconsistent or financially stressful. And beyond health and cost, there's also a practical ease. Eggs cook quickly, require minimal cleanup, and are endlessly customizable, which empowers seniors to take part in their own meal preparation without the exhaustion or confusion that comes with more elaborate recipes. And this autonomy contributes to emotional well-being, which is often as important as any lab result, because we eat not just for our bodies, but for our minds, our mood, and our memories. And for many, the smell of eggs cooking in the kitchen brings back childhood comfort or reminds them of cooking for their families, making this simple food a powerful emotional bridge to happier, more connected times. And that sense of ritual and meaning can reignite joy in daily habits, offering purpose in the form of nourishment. And if there's one takeaway to carry forward from all of this, it's that eggs are not something to fear, but something to understand, to use mindfully, and to embrace in ways that align with each individual's needs, preferences, and goals. And whether you're a senior looking to take back control of your health, or a family member, caregiver, or friend trying to support someone you love, the conversation around eggs should be one of encouragement, personalization, and empowerment, not fear or oversimplification, because food is never just food. It's medicine, memory, and meaning wrapped into one. And the more we learn to respect that, the better we become at helping ourselves and others age with strength, vitality, and dignity. And if this message resonates with you, and you want to explore more practical, research-backed insights about aging well, eating smart, and living fully past 60, you're exactly where you need to be. Because this is what we're passionate about at Healthful Living 60 Plus, where we believe that life after 60 isn't about slowing down. It's about living smarter, stronger, and with more joy than ever before. So whether it's your first time here or you've been with us for a while, know that this community is here to offer support, wisdom, and real-life strategies that honor the aging journey without fear. And if you found value in what we shared today, remember that what you do with that knowledge next is what makes the biggest difference. So take the first step, have a conversation, try the recipes, check in with your body, and let's keep moving forward one healthy, thoughtful choice at a time.